Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Thursday night!
Woo! I am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific commenter himself, and of course, we all know he is also a panelist now, Zealeus.
Yo! I don't know what you're talking about, panelist. I may have blacked out 2 weekends ago. I was at home.
You were able to give us some information during the panels.
It must have been another person who was just like me. I have a doppelganger.
Perhaps. All right, speaking of panels, especially the two panels we did give at Canuga, we have officially got a time slot. Well, 2 time slots for MomoCon.
MomoCon!
Which, of course, is occurring at the end of May. The first one is Saturday, May 30th at 8 p.m. The destruction of the game industry as we know it.
That's a late panel.
That's one of the, I think it's like the second. Well, actually, MomoCon goes late.
Okay.
So it's not like Canuga where everything cuts off right after our panel.
And everybody goes drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Or some shenanigans.
Well, it's in the World Congress Center, so there's probably plenty of drinking around anyways.
Hey, nothing. It means we can be drinking during the panel?
No. Well, maybe. We'll see.
Hey, I'm just saying.
We'll see.
Just saying. There's nothing wrong with a little happiness in your life.
Anyways, the other panel, of course, that we give is so you finish making your indie game and you think you're done. That one will, of course, be happening Sunday, May 31st at 11 a.m., which is, ironically, is that?
That's a good time slot. I like it.
We basically almost got the exact same time slot, 2 conventions in a row.
Well, we had 6 o'clock at Canuga.
No, I'm talking about so you finish making your indie game and you think you're done.
Well,
we got a Sunday, right. This one's at 11, so it's like Sunday right around lunchtime.
Yes, which works.
I guess it's food for thought. No?
And I'm
and of course, the fan table registration just opened up today. We are very confident, fingers crossed, that we will have a fan table. We of course have applied, and we're hoping we'll hear back soon. All right, so Zealeus has been kind of in and out of, I guess, the video game news world as of late, and it's not his fault. He has been trying to procure a more permanent residence.
Well, it is kind of my fault for deciding to live the American dream and go get a house and stuff, because something is terribly wrong with me, and I want to become beholden to the corporate overlords who rule our world and keep the man down. So I'm a part of the cog.
Well, but think of it this way. The money that you're spending on rent can now go towards owning something.
It is, and ironically, my rent, all my mortgage stuff, all combined, including like insurance, blah, 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 will be about $100 less than what I'm paying in rent.
Well, there you go.
Which, considering I now have to pay for stuff, it kind of helps. Yay, living the American dream! It's so exciting! I can barely contain myself.
So here's the deal. Some interesting news has come out. Man, some of it, actually, this next story we're about to talk about has been out for a while, but it's now remaking headlines because it was shown off at PAX East, which of course happened this previous weekend. One of these days, Ultra Confusion will go back to PAX East.
I would love to go to PAX. I know I'm going to Dragon Con no matter what. I'm going to say that. That's my first one, after MomoCon. Because we obviously are going to MomoCon.
Actually, there's one before. Okay, well, we'll talk about conventions.
Well, we're
talking like large conventions.
Yes.
Okay.
All
right, so anyways.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
There's a game.
Okay, there's games?
Yes, I know.
Dude,
there's a game out there by a company called, I believe it's called Robot Loves Kitty.
Okay.
And the name of the game is Upsilon Circuit.
But do kitties love robots?
That is yet to be scientifically figured out. But anyways, there's a game out there called Upsilon Circuit.
Okay.
It is, how do I describe it? It is an MMO RPG. It's a PvP MMO RPG. Now here's the catch.
There's a catch to everything.
I'm sure that you've heard of permadeath.
Hardcore, man.
Okay, well, explain what permadeath is.
Permadeath is, okay, so most games, you die, and like in MMOs, 99.9% of the time you can have a respawn point. Which means you die, and there's like a graveyard or some resurrection point in the MMO, With the exception of very few MMOs, there's also basically little to no penalty for actually dying, or especially long-term penalty. Like there might be some kind of like resurrection sickness where for 5 minutes you have, halved HP or some crap like that. But in terms of actually losing anything permanent, pretty much the worst I can think of is EverQuest. You would lose experience, like months worth of experience back in like the old school days. But as far as permanent death in MMO settings, that just doesn't really have it. But to finish, I didn't actually answer your question. Permanent death basically means you die and your character is no longer playable. It is not necessarily deleted because you might still see your character screen grayed out, but you can no longer play that character, period, end of discussion.
All right, so Upsilon Circuit takes it one step further. Once you die, you can no longer play the game. Ever.
Okay, that's pretty... Okay, this is like dot hack, only like to the extreme, man.
So, okay, so
wow.
it really is a social experiment.
Yeah.
Basically, Upsilon Circuit is a game in which it's 4v4. Mm-hmm. And in total, the entire world is populated by 8 individuals.
Huh.
What the interesting thing is, like I said, permadeath. I mean, we're talking like uber permadeath here because once you die, you're done with the game. You can never come back. But, all right, so this sounds crazy, right?
Crazy!
So there's got to be like, multiple, like,
worlds.
4v, multiple worlds, right? Nope, it's one world.
Huh.
There's literally 8 people at a time playing this game. Now, here's the crazy thing, and the little curveball. The audience of this game, because they're going to be live streaming it.
Okay.
The audience of this game is going to be not actively participating, but they will be participating while the game's going on. What's going to happen is, as the players, both sides, all 8 players are gaining experience, mm-hmm. the audience is actually the ones who are gaining the experience. You're going to have an app that you're going to get experience points on, and then you're going to level up how you want your build to be. And then, at a random time, you may be selected as one of the 8.
Huh.
And then the build that you have created is the build you're going to use in-game.
Wow, that's interesting. Okay, off the top of my head, I have no idea what I honestly think about it. What I will say is I don't know if it's actually a good idea, but I think the idea of doing something totally radical and new and revolutionary is really cool. Mm-hmm. That's really cool that they're trying, so let's go on a limb here. Instead of, creating another rehash of another, MMO PvP, let's do something really unique and different. And this is truly that. And that's pretty cool that they're going on a limb here. I kind of question the ability to make a business model out of that, but that's okay.
I think it's one of those. I think it's more of a let's see what happens model. I don't think they're. I don't see the finances of this. I think it's more of. Actually, to be honest with you, I think what would be if these developers are smart, if they want to make money off this, what they could make a shit ton of money off of is advertisements. Mm-hmm. Like banner ads while you're watching or something. Have a instead of using like a like your regular website, have it embedded into their own personal website with stuff. The thing that I'm curious about, and I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work, is the app where you're if is there going to be, because the way they were showing it was you had like a tablet that had the information you're kind of punching around. Is it going to be one of those you have to have a unique login? And basically, when you log into the website, it's your own personal page that then has it there? Or are we talking about, you have to...
And how do they know you're a unique person? Can I just go on Gmail and create 100 different email addresses?
See, I don't know.
And just keep on signing up for accounts? So
I don't know. See, I'm...
No, I could see it be... Yeah, And I worry if they might be overestimating how many people actually want to watch a PvP match.
Right.
I mean, I know like Twitch TV and that stuff is there, but it's still pretty dang small actual population of the overall gaming community mm-hmm. who actually watches live stream PvP matches, particularly in a game that doesn't really have a following.
Right. It's a very interesting, unique idea. I just don't know. The thing is, if you are truly going to follow this model where you're one and done, you've got to. I mean, there's absolutely 100% an end of life expectancy.
Okay, you know where I can actually something cool like this?
What's that?
Is, okay, take MOBAs.
Uh-huh.
MOBAs, you have leagues, right? Or seasons.
Yep.
A lot of times you have season. You got your ladder for that season.
Mhm.
What you could do, hypothetically speaking, is you start with the season, right?
Mhm.
And everybody for that season, like you have like this like separate. I never actually really played season in MOBAs because I'm not hardcore enough on them.
Mhm.
But basically, a season, you start off at level 0 for that season.
Okay.
Separate from like your regular account. You start off level 0,
Mhm.
you play your matches, and if you lose your match, you're out of that season.
Interesting. Okay.
And that's it's like deathmatch seasons. Now you still have your regular gameplay. You know, you can still play regular conquest or whatever, like
Right.
normal people.
Right.
But for that particular, it's like a special deathmatch season where literally it's a race to death, and everybody can play. You probably have to play by like a certain time because I know pull the old WrestleMania trick where you hide under the ring until all 30 people have been eliminated, and whoa, he was never eliminated. Oh my gosh! So probably within like the first week or something, you have to like have played your first match, and every so often you have to play to be considered active.
Okay.
But I think something like that would be actually really interesting to see, like who can keep on winning.
Mhm.
It's what is it? You make it, you take it, like in basketball.
Right. The other thing is, and this is okay. So you're doing 4v4 PvP, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are we talking that? Okay, so when you're dead, you're out. So are we talking you're locked in? It's these 4 people. After one team loses all of them, the victors get to stick around, or let's say that is it like a constant stream? Like, okay, this guy's out. All right, sub in.
Or does the team go then? Like the next team plays, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's going to be more information. They don't have a release date. I'm sure we're going to hear a ton more, but it is very interesting.
I think on the face, the idea of a game based around this is probably going to end up being me being cynical and epic fail.
Yeah.
But I think parts of it could be integrated into other PvP-oriented games.
Right.
Where you maybe take bits and pieces of that EXP idea or some kind of league permadeath, where for that league you get permadeath or something. So I think if you take little bits here and there and little subsets could potentially work and make it interesting.
I do like the fact that, yes, the audiences are not, like, they're not truly affecting the game, but at the same time, your active involvement with leveling up your own stats and stuff to build your own character is kind of an interesting thing, and that's basically they're going to when they choose the next individuals, they're going to look at the people who have been active. It's not going to be like, you can't just I'm sure people are going to make bots.
Yeah, that's my first thought.
But the thing is, if it is like, oh, this guy's out, you sub in.
If that bot gets chosen, well, it's probably going to die.
Yeah, almost immediately, because the bot is probably just going to stand in a corner. But okay, so interesting idea. I want to learn more, and I'm sure they're going to give you more. They do have a newsletter sign up if you're interested. I do not remember the link off the top of my head, but I will tell you that if you go to alteredconfusion.com, you can select the story, and the link is there, so you can go to the website, sign up, and then be potentially part of this crazy experiment. Okay, so I think it was this past week. It was this past week. Some interesting news came out around the Ouya. I know that a lot of people have basically either turned in their Ouyas.
I played 2 games in the Ouya this week, man.
All right, Zealeus is setting world records. There is a new system, a new application that's being added to the Ouya, and this one, of course, is called Playcast. Playcast is it's on live. I mean, that's literally what it is. It's on live. It is streaming of games through a portal that you get to play. I have a couple issues with this. Zealeus, can you grab me one of those Ouya controllers off the ground there? I know, they're on the ground. I don't know. I still have yet to unpack completely. All right, so here's the Ouya controller, okay?
It's an Ouya controller.
I don't know how I feel about, like that. One of the big ones that they're talking about is the Batman Arkham
Asylum.
Arkham Asylum Game of the Year edition. I don't know how I feel about trying to play that with this. Maybe I don't know, but here's my issue with any streaming service. To be honest with you, we are eventually going to get there. We're going to have these little computers that basically have the very bare minimum. Everything's going to be online, and we're just going to stream everything.
It's basically thin clients. I mean, they do it in businesses. They've been doing it in businesses for, well, not extraordinary long time, but a good decade or so. I mean, schools do it and stuff. I mean, for businesses, it works because you're just transmitting bits. You're transmitting words and little data. Not cool, awesome graphics. Because the problem is now you're rendering pretty powerful stuff, basically in a big old server farm.
Right.
And that requires a whole lot of power.
Well, okay, so one of the biggest issues with OnLive was where the server farms were located. Because the further you get away, the more latency you're going to get.
Yep.
And because of the large scale of it, they wanted to show, they wanted to give it to the whole world, but it's like Texas and Chicago.
Well, here's my question with online, any of these.
Yeah.
Now, most of these are usually single-player games, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what happens, say down the road, maybe you get let's just say World of Warcraft into it.
Right.
So I'm already getting usually about 50 to 100 ping, which isn't too bad.
Mm-hmm.
But that's on my computer.
Right.
But if I'm playing OnLive or any of these, they're still going to be getting about 50 to 100 ping.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be getting about 50 to 100 ping. I know they advertise like 37 ping. There's no way you're getting constantly 37 ping. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're getting latency from you, and I'm getting latency from this service going each way. How the heck is that going to work?
Right. Absolutely. My biggest issue with any streaming service is that you are, yes, it's a subscription service. It's like Netflix, but for video games. The only problem is Netflix, you're not an active participant. Netflix is you click on it and then it streams. It doesn't have to interpret any data, because that's the other thing. Anytime you push a button, there's some interaction that has to go out and come back. Well,
it's a totally different technology. If I can get a little technical here, if that's okay. So the big difference is, all right, so you have Netflix. So there's two different kind of protocols out there. Mm-hmm. One's called TCP and the other's called UDP. Basically, the difference is TCP talks to each other. It's called three-way handshake. And when you play video games, that's what you're getting, because you get going back and forth. Because I need to know that they know I clicked this button. Mm-hmm. You watch Netflix literally just swooshes you over. It's like an open, leaky faucet. But if you lose a few little drops here and there, literally, that's pixels. You're losing pixels in your TV that you're not going to notice. Because there's no need. Like maybe every minute, there's going back and forth just to make sure, hey, there. But it's more of a check in there and not really this going back and forth.
Yeah.
Whereas video games, it's just totally different. So I don't even know why I started talking about this. You said something that prompted me to say it.
I'm sorry.
Now, I can't remember what it was. So I actually had a good reason for saying what I'm saying.
It is different. It is a different technology. I'll fully admit it is a different technology.
Yeah, and so there is that part of it. I had a real reason for going with this. I wasn't just giving random technology information. Something you said prompted, and yeah, my brain just went adrift. I think I pulled a Charlie, because you've done that a few times. So
yes, I know. But okay, so, I was just basically saying, you basically were talking about the fact that there are different technologies. The interactions are going to be different. You have to take into effect. Sorry, I'm trying to update the stream while I'm talking, but what?
Oh yeah, because you were talking about it doesn't click up your mouse.
Right.
And I was just saying you're playing these video games, and that's why you can stream something on Netflix. It's not an issue, because it doesn't matter if that information's always correct. It still works. Whereas with video games, you have to have that connection for it to work. Mm-hmm. You have to have the constant back and forth, and there's just a lot more overhead with that type of technology. You also get ping and everything else. It's just harder. It's not harder to implement. There's just more overhead. So you're just slowing everything down even more. Because you have to make sure. So that's why it's not the same as Netflix, or it's easy to implement. Because it's not just a whoosh of bits coming at me. I have to whoosh some bits back at them.
Right.
And that's why it's not as easy as Netflix, basically. Which, if it was like Netflix, would be cool. Now, I think it could work is, of course, you might as well just get a low-powered machine in the first place. But it could work for, like, say, turn-based strategy games.
Okay.
Or puzzle, like, games basically where my immediate response is not necessary for the success of the game.
Right.
Like, I think, games like Civilizations and true turn-based games like that could actually really work in a situation like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because, if I have to wait half a second because of lag, well, life goes on.
Right.
So I think there actually are genres that really could work for a solution like this.
Yeah, but
they're picking action games.
Right. Well, of course, because that's the most popular. I mean, because you get that instant gratification when you're talking about a civilization game or any turn-based strategy. You're in for the long haul.
Yeah.
You don't haul. Man, I can't talk. You're in for the long haul, and sometimes there's that action for like 30, 40, even 50 minutes. But like I said, my issue is if I'm going to play, I'm okay with digital distribution. Actually, I love digital distribution. I have no issue with digital distribution. But I want it on my system.
Yeah.
I want to be able to, if the internet goes down, to still be able to play my game. That is my biggest issue. Yeah. We figure some magical way to do that. Even if my internet starts acting up, then I'm on board. But of course, that would be completely not streaming. So.
But on the other hand, though, is I could see publishers actually loving this service because probably what end up happening is it becomes some kind of subscription service.
Well, that's what it. So OnLive is a subscription service, and this one that's.
But it means OnLive is probably paying some kind of royalty slot subscription fee to Ubisoft or EA on a monthly basis to be able to do this.
You would.
I'm sure they're not just buying a $60 license. It's not it's not like CS3 where you buy one license for each person on the cloud. No, you're paying some kind of.
No, you're doing the way that you would do this is you would there would be a couple ways to do this. You would either go with the unlimited. It's called seats. I mean, that's really what it is, and the terminology is just.
You're going to be nightmares of Windows licensing, man.
Right, but that's really what it is. You either get an unlimited seating license, which of course is going to be expensive as hell, or you purchase a specific amount that's allowed to be used at one time.
I can't imagine like an EA giving an unlimited seat license for this.
So what they're going to do is what they'll do.
It's probably like X amount per 10,000 users or something would be my guess.
Right, but they're even EA would have an unlimited license, but it would be astronomical in cost.
$8 billion.
It wouldn't be that astronomical.
$6 billion.
But but here's the deal. I understand. Anti-cheat. Woo! Don't cheat. We got to ping the online servers. Yay!
Civilization 2, my friend. Civilization 2. That's all I have to say.
But
without cheating.
Look, here's
or KDFTK. What is that?
I don't know.
Forgetting.
Anyways,
it's the cheat code for Doom.
Oh God, I don't remember what the hell it is. I know what you're talking about, but anyways, digital distribution, I'm totally okay with as long as I can play my freaking game.
Yeah,
we're at that point in technology where game companies are going to start are going to stop saying you have bought this game to play whenever you want to, and it's going to be more of you bought the privilege to play the game when we allow you to, which to me is insane.
It is where it's going, yes.
Right, absolutely, because the fact of the matter is,
well, you already have that in server environments.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, you already have that. I mean, our management software, if we stop paying the bill next year, we would not be licensed to use it anymore.
Well, it's just like my work. The vast majority of the applications that I utilize are through a virtualization client.
Yeah.
If I don't have that up and running, or if it crashes, thanks Firefox, I have no access to any of those products. Okay, so
next.
So in conclusion, Playcast, which is the streaming game service through the Ouya.
What I will say is, I do think if it works, just if it works, the Ouya is a perfect piece of hardware if you can make it work, because it's so. And what we saw at Kanuga, where it's such a nice, small, little portable device. It doesn't require a whole lot of electricity or power to run, and it just, you boot it up and boom, you're already like in the panel. You don't. So I think from a console standpoint, if it actually does work as advertised, that's
right.
a big if.
Right.
I think that Ouya is actually an ideal candidate to make it work on. I really do. So I think from that standpoint, I like the idea. It's a question if it's going to be executed, but from an ideal standpoint, I'm like, okay, that would actually be the perfect place to make it work. On a bit of a, it's obviously not to the power of a PS4 or Xbox One,
right?
But you don't need power if you're basically just virtualizing your environment. It's really what it comes down to.
Right. So, okay,
we'll find out.
Okay, a bit of sad news for all of you sci-fi fantasy readers out there. Terry Pratchett, Pratchett has passed away at the age of 66. Actually, excuse me, Sir Terry Pratchett, because he was knighted. He was famous for a series called Discworld, which extended over a ton of time. At least 20 years, I think. I'm pretty sure they've made TV shows about it. They've made games about it. They've made a pencil and paper RPG about it because it's that in depth. Because it kept going. I think there's over 30 books in the series. Though some of them I think are more novellas than books. But we're not going to get technical between the two. But we are very sad to hear that Terry Pratchett has passed.
He was a pillar of the sci-fi community.
Indeed. Now I'm going to immediately go out and say I have not really read his stuff. I have messed around with one of his Discworld PC games from back in the day when I was heavy into like the King's Quest and stuff like that. I think it was around King's Quest 7. Wow. Okay. Dating myself. Very sad. Anytime that someone who loved sci-fi fantasy that much, it's always tragic to see them go.
You removed your shirt.
Yes. Okay.
It had been disturbing me for months.
Well, it's gone, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yes, I'm in the same boat. I never read Terry Pratchett. It's just, I don't know, it was just never one of the things that made it onto my list. Hopefully one of these days I'll get around to actually reading some Pratchett. But, anytime you are on, some kind of, book list, people are like, dude, what should I read? Sci-fi fantasy. Pratchett is always one of those authors that people are like, dude, you got to check out Pratchett.
He's also done quite a few collaborations with other sci-fi writers. The one that comes to mind right off the top of my head is Neil Gaiman. I believe the name of the book is Bad Omen or Good Omen.
I feel like Neil Gaiman, how do you say his name, has just fingers in everything.
The dude's awesome.
Yeah, he's incredible. He's very multi-talented when it comes to the arts of words and conveying messages and themes and ideas and anything in any medium, not just the literary that he's actually known for. Many other forms of art.
I believe he actually has a Doctor Who episode.
I'm pretty sure he does, yes.
So he's an awesome individual too. If you haven't checked out Neil Gaiman's stuff, go check it out, as well as Terry Pratchett's. Okay, now let's get back into some crazy news that people are going batshit nuts over. The big news that has come out as of late was that Microsoft is basically trying to allow for individuals to play the Xbox One games and on the PC. I think they're trying to do it by Windows 10. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the
Windows X.
So here's the big issue that a lot of people are having with this. Mainly, the people we're talking about are the consolers, the individuals who have the Xbox One or any Microsoft product, because you're paying a subscription. You're paying the Gold Members subscription, $59.99 a year.
Well, unless you should get an eBay for $30 a year.
It's
always on sale. It's always on sale,
man. Auto renew. Anyways.
Yeah, I know. I buy cards when I see them on slickdeals.net for like $30. I think I'm subscribed for like 2019.
Right on. I'm paying $59.99 a year.
Sorry.
Anyways, okay, so here's the big controversy. As many of you know who have played Microsoft games, you have, for the privilege to play online in these games, you have to have your gold subscription. But of course, that standard is definitely never, ever, ever going to work on the PC because you can already play games unless they have their own subscription free online. So Microsoft has come out and said, oh yeah. If you're playing our Xbox One games on the PC, of course you can play them for free. Online for free. You don't have to do an additional cost. Which has caused such an outcry of, what the is going on? I hate PCs! What's wrong with him? And all that kind of crazy stuff.
Okay, I've been an Xbox Gold member since I got my Xbox. When did I get my Xbox?
I don't know. That was a Christmas.
Yeah, like 2009, 2000. It was a number of years ago. And I still am. This news, even though admittedly I'm a PC gamer mostly, even as an Xbox Gold member, I honestly don't give a shit. It's because, like, the people are complaining. It's like this mentality of, like, what? They have something different than me? What the hell? It's not the same? That's just not right, man. It's just like this mentality of entitlement, where it's like, it has to be what I have, man, or it's just not fair. Now, whatever, get over it. Like, it just pisses me off, honestly. I'm like, it's one of those things where, like, of all things, I'm gonna get annoyed at life. This sure as hell is not it. I mean, and part of it is okay. I signed for my Xbox Gold Live membership, right? I know what I'm getting into. Nowhere in that did Microsoft ever say anything about the PC or any other things. This was for the Xbox, and what you need to do, X, Y, Z, and the Xbox is pretty clearly laid out. It's not like they're just randomly changing things. It's just, it really doesn't bother me in the least. At all. And I would just tell people to get the hell over themselves because guess what? Life goes on. It just doesn't bother me.
Okay, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I can kind of see it from both viewpoints. The first thing is, from a developer or publisher standpoint, this is a dream come true because you'll be developing games for one system and it'll be automatically available on a second platform without you having to do extra stuff, which to developers and producers is like the holy grail. Now, for the consumer, I could see that some people would see it as, let's say, like you go to Disney World. For you specific individuals, your subset, you have to pay $59.99 to get through the gate. But for that subset, you get to go in for free. That I understand that kind of ruffles feathers. Absolutely.
That already happens.
Right, I know, but it just it's the same deal as so many people pushing back with, I need to have my disc. I have to have a disc. How the hell can I just have a digital copy of my game? I need a disc so it's physically there. It's the same kind of argument. I'm not saying that it is the same argument because it is slightly different. But I understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, it is a different platform. Even though it's going to be sharing the space, literally the same game. I'm sure that Microsoft will find a way to squeeze some money out of the PC gamers. So they'll probably be like, oh, by the way, you have to actually pay the subscription fee to be allowed to download these games on your system.
You have to pay a $10 fee to actually make it online to our servers for a one-time nominal fee.
Something like that. I'm sure there's going to be something like that. It is like from a developer or publisher standpoint, it is great that the games will be available to a broader audience.
Yeah.
Okay. So a while ago, there was a game that Alter Confusion reviewed. It was called Conquerors of Kalar. It was a
video game.
Oh yeah, brilliant.
I'm just trying to help.
No, it was okay. So it's an RPG where you have a party of 3 individuals. Is it 3? I think it's 3.
Trace.
You have 3 individuals on one side of the screen, then you have your enemies on the other side of the screen, and then you have these like status bars that once it fills up, you do your attack.
Okay.
And then after so many as you're attacking, there's like a behind the scenes counter that once you hit a certain amount, you get to do like a special ability.
Limit break. Although
like
they
that.
probably can't call that. a break.
Or you have to wait like X amount of time before you can use it, something like around those lines. Okay, so the company behind that, I'm gonna butcher their name. It's CUVE. I'm gonna call them Cuve or Cuve. They've come out with a new game. It is not coming out on the PC this time. It is going straight to iOS and Android. It is called Quest Run. It is a roguelike RPG game. I have been playing it, probably more than I should have today, but I have been playing it on this wonderful tablet. Once again, it's real time. You have to wait to your bar fills up to attack. It utilizes the entire the same engine as Conquerors of Kalar, the same type of you have. Magic attack, regular attack, magic defense, regular defense, luck, speed, charisma, which I still don't know what the hell you do charisma for.
That's like every RPG ever.
I know.
Wait, charisma makes you able to buy stuff cheaper at the shop.
But here's my okay. So you're thrust into a world. You've got 2. Tutorials that you get to go through to kind of get a feel for it, and you're going to have 2 not randomly assigned, but you'll have 2 different sets of heroes. Mm-hmm. The thing that really pisses me off about this game, and this is why they call it roguelike, is there is X amount of waves you have to get through. But for the main missions, you get randomly assigned characters.
Okay. And
they start from a specific level. So let's just say every single character is going to start at level 2, and you just try to level it up and blah 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 blah. I want to have a specific set party. I want to have my my meat shield. I want to have my magic user, and then I want my like rogue or hunter or something like that.
Especially characters that you know.
Right. What? But I understand the logic behind it. You're then being introduced to all these characters and subtypes that you probably wouldn't play if you were to be able to choose your own party.
But do you ever get to choose your own party?
No.
And to me, see, that's one of the things that I think draws people into video games is that connection you get with the characters you're playing.
Right.
People want that immersion and to see the game through that character's eyes. I know there's a term for it.
So there's one. Okay, so you don't really get to select your party. You get to you'll have 3 randomly assigned characters. The one thing that you can do is you can beat these side missions that will allow you to unlock like it's kind of like alternate costumes. Okay, it's the best way for me to describe it. It's your alt costume, which is actually like a slightly better version of the paladin or the magic user or something like that.
Okay.
But at the same time, you're not guaranteed that you will. Let's say you do those 2 missions. You're not guaranteed to have even one of those characters be available in the party. Now, as you progress through each wave for the main mission, you gain gold.
Okay.
And that gold can then be used to unlock stuff. Like you can unlock a secret character. You can unlock the ability of having a merchant in like basically the load-in screen, so you can buy items. So you have items already available. That's the other thing. One of the really weird things is you have this like conveyor belt of items. Okay, you've got 4 slots on the side, and as you progress, if you do not use the item in the 4th slot, it will disappear and be replaced with a new one. Mm-hmm. When your items get given, basically handed out. So you got to, of course, keep your eye on the prize. And of course, the awesome thing is you can switch things out. So you're not like, oh man, I don't need that health potion, but I could use it later, and it's in the 4th spot. So I'm going to lose it. No, you could grab it from the 4th spot and drop it and kind of rearrange. Okay. But of course, at the same time, you got to keep an eye on your characters You know, it's a lot of managing. I have gotten so there's a main dungeon, at least one, and I've gotten to it, and I've gotten all the way to the boss, and unfortunately I perished.
No.
Because it's one of those games where you have in those 3 slots, unless you have a ranged weapon, which so far has only been a gun. I don't know, and it does jack shit.
That's unfortunate.
You have to be straight across from your opponent.
Okay.
So, you know, when you're playing the boss, he's in the middle of the screen. So the 2 characters on the outside of the screen aren't doing anything. So, you know, of course you could swap out characters unless you have the like the rooted curse or something where you can't move. But I just want to. I want to build. You know, I want to find that winning combination. The side quest, I understand. Randomly assign my characters because each one has a little bit of a different little. Oh, this one emphasizes the paladin. This one emphasizes the magic user. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, give me that. But when I'm doing the main thing, allow me to have the units I want. Now, some of the gold, you could use some of the gold to basically roll yourself a new party. But it's not like you can lock one of the 3 slots down. If you could do that, you know, of course, I'd spend all my gold to make sure I have my 3 people, but I'd be totally okay with that.
Yeah.
But you don't have that option. It's a brand new 3 every single time.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that mechanism, and I think sometimes it's almost like the developers go a little too far in trying to make it their style instead of what the gamers would actually enjoy.
Right.
And I think that could be one of those cases where it's a little bit too far from what is the gamer actually looking for versus doing it their way.
Right. Right. I'm gonna continue to play it. It is a game that we are reviewing, or I'll be reviewing, and hopefully we'll be able to give you some more information. But as of right now, it's frustrating because
the way you described it, with the rotating characters, gives me very little desire to play it, I'm going to be honest. But if I could pick my own parties, I'd probably be much more inclined to play.
Well, okay, so the thing is, I got randomly assigned a party that I was not 100% sure about, but I got to the boss.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to have that combination again. How can I join in? Mute Force? How join into what? Would you like to join into the conversation? Because if you would, just ask your question, and we will add you into the conversation and go that way or this way.
Or a U-turn. It's hard to tell.
Even in illegal U-turn areas. But seriously, you know, it sucks when you get those you get those 3 you get your 3, even if you don't know what 3, you know, you're like, oh, it's a brand new 3, I'll just try. Sometimes you get your ass whooped. I mean, absolutely just, you're done. What's the current topic? We are talking about a game called Quest Run on the iOS and Android. It is a roguelike RPG game. We're basically talking about the random party mechanic that drives me absolutely batshit nuts.
He's already nuts, so it's a terrible thing.
I know. I'm like completely losing it.
Yeah.
You have a specific amount of waves you have to get through, and if you end up with like a healer, a priest, and a magic user, you ain't ever going to get through the whole thing because you're going to get your ass whooped. All their HP is too low. Yes, of course you can roll a new party, but
you might get 3 warriors and do 0 damage.
Well, you have to have that magic user because magic users have an all attack AOE where you can throw a fireball and it burns out all of them or freezes all of them. The healer can do a pretty good heal across all of them. The paladin does a puny ass heal. I don't even know why they gave the heal.
Because it's a paladin, man.
Right? I know. But anyways,
does he kill undead too?
I've never come up against an undead.
That's unfortunate.
So I don't know.
It's not a real video game if there's not zombies in it, yeah.
Oh, zombies. Okay. So yeah, I will tell you more about that game as I play a little bit more. I'll write up a little something just to announce that it's out because I think it just came out. If it hasn't completely come out, then it's coming out soon.
Right on.
Yes. Okay. I have been basically gaming my brains out the last couple days. I completed Wooden Floor by Phoenix, which is Pheennix.
I think they spelled that incorrectly.
They're being creative, okay? They have creative license, all right?
No, I don't understand.
All right, Wooden
Use
Floor.
English, man.
Wooden Floor is a point-click adventure in the third person. No, excuse me, in first person. Third person. First person, where it literally looks like they used all of the built-in assets for the Unreal Engine and then built a game around it, which I'm totally okay with. The problem is it's 43 minutes long.
That's the length of a episode on Netflix of television shows.
I think the problem is, as I was really getting in, it's one of those things where I was interested enough to try to keep playing because I ended up playing for an hour and a half simply because there are some collision mechanics that just drove me bananas.
QA!
Well, it's I understand when you have a game and you're like, oh man, I got to break up, the way that things are going. Let's add this mechanic where you have to jump on these pieces of wood that are moving around. But you're only going to do that once. I
haven't played it. Couldn't tell you.
Look, here's my issue. If you're going to add a mechanic into a game, like that, where you got to jump from place to place to get through a room, because the entire thing about Wooden Floor is that you wake up, you have no idea where the hell you are, you go through a door, and you notice that there's something weird about.
Sounds like the Bourne idea.
Sometimes when you close a door and then open it again, it's a different room. Wow. So my issue with any game, period, is if you're going to use a mechanic, utilize it more than once. Don't just be like, oh, I got to break this up, so let's use this one time only. Because if I've invested, and usually with this jumping mechanism, I invested way too much time in it because I thought the collision was a little clinky, and I kept falling off the edge.
The game was 43 minutes. How much time could you have invested in it?
Like I said, I played for an hour and a half. So I played basically double that amount. The vast majority of it was in that room and in another room.
Gotcha.
If you're first of all, if you're going to use a mechanic, use it more than once. And on top of that, make sure it's polished. For the love of God, make sure it's polished. Just don't be like, oh, we need to break it up. We're going to do this crazy thing once. We're not exactly sure how it's going to fit in the game, but you're going to be like, oh, shoo, thanks for the break. No, never. The other thing is, I understand Zealeus is a huge proponent of this. There was no story. And it's literally, you're walking through rooms, you're like, why am I doing this? And then at the end, spoiler alert, you kind of get a little bit of a glimpse into a story, and it's like a potential to be continued, which I hope it is continued, because
it's like a TV series. It's like a TV show. You learn more as you play.
But you didn't learn anything until the end. It's like watching someone. It's like if you want to take the TV show analogy, it's like watching someone like they had a helmet cam and they're just walking, not talking, and they just open up random doors for 40 minutes. You have no idea what's going on. They don't tell you anything.
I think that should be a new pilot on ABC.
I'm sure Fox has already got that in
it was probably supposed to replace Firefly.
Oh, God, why'd you have to say that?
Because I'm a terrible person.
You are. Okay, so Wooden Floor, that review is up. So is the walkthrough. It is a single video because it's 43 minutes. The other game that I played was a game called Tormentum, made by Oh No Games. I think that's how you pronounce it because it's a lot. It's like OHNOOO Games, which I really enjoyed. Tormentum was what's I can never remember the artist for for Aliens. It's like Geiger or something like that. Anyways, it was very Geiger-ish. I'm hoping that that's his last name because I'm going to keep saying Geiger.
That works for me.
Um,
Nobody here is going to correct you.
It's a side. Okay, it's kind of a side scroller. You're not actually walking around. You basically, depending on which way you come into the room. Okay, so I'm just going to use this as a visual aid here. Say if you're coming in from this side, your character is just going to stand there. There might be some animation on the screen, but your character is going to stay in here. Of course, if you're coming from this side of the screen, your character is going to stand there. So it's simple, but I can't tell you how many games I've played where your character always defaults to the exact same view no matter how you enter the screen. And that drives me nuts. Case in point is, that weird psycho thriller that I played recently where, excuse me. Hello! I can't read the name. It's in blue. Clash of the Bro. But it was great. There was point click adventure. There was puzzles. They really didn't use the same. I mean, the mechanic was there were puzzles to unlock something. The puzzles were different. So they didn't really use the same puzzle ever twice, which I'm totally okay with because I knew, puzzle, and then I did that. It wasn't like one puzzle and then that was it. There was like a gear puzzle where you had to like replace the gears to make the mechanism work. You had like a slide puzzle, which I freaking hate. But for some reason, I was on freaking fire with those slide puzzles in Tormentum. It is a twisted ass game. There is one hell of a twist at the end, which I will not tell you, but I will tell you, you need to play this game. It is the Mario franchise. Yeah. Are we talking Mario Brothers?
I know of the Luigi franchise.
Like Luigi and Mario and Waluigi and Wario. But anyways, check out Tormentum. Totally awesome game. Totally worth the time.
Right on. Right on.
Excuse me. I know. I got a ton of games on the side that I still need to review. And one that we're still in March, right? Yeah. I don't even know why I got that game so far in advance.
Oh, you still got to wait. Yeah, you got a month.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. All right, audience. Give us something to talk about.
I should run around 9 o'clock though.
Oh, okay, fine.
I got stuff. I got some things I gotta take care of. I'm sorry, man. I know it's a terrible thing.
Then I will tell you this.
What will you tell me, sir?
There is a game that you can get for free. It has a microtransaction in it. Though the microtransaction is literally donate to the developer. That's the microtransaction.
And what is the game, good sir?
It is called Pixel Dungeon.
Is it a dungeon about pixels?
So it's a pixelated looking dungeon. It is rogue-like. You pick one of 4. Well, actually, you start off with 3 characters. The 4th one gets unlocked once you hit a certain level. No, Pixel Dungeon, not Dungeon Pixel. All right, Mr. Dyslexic.
I'm getting it from my coworker.
Oh, what would your reaction be to a Mario character dying, like an epic Mario game?
Would it hold the same weight it used to? Because it used to be like, they were very iconic, but it seems like they've been taken over by other iconic characters like Master Chief or, other characters that people get involved in.
I still think that you would have some kind of attachment to it. Now, if we're talking about the death of this character and it ain't ever coming back,
like Tifa, not Tifa.
Aerith.
Aerith, whatever.
Good Lord, dude.
One of those
Tifa.
characters.
Tifa's still alive, man. Haven't you seen Avid Children? Jeez. But for Mario, I think Zealeus is right. I think now I think the overall emotion would be diminished. What's up? But I think that there still would be if that character were to completely die. Let's say that Bowser finally
Princess, man.
Finally said, "Crap! I accidentally dropped the princess. She's dead."
In a pit of fire.
Yeah.
With 0 lives.
Princess Peach is absolutely 100% dead. Will not be featured in any future Mario game, like Mario games. Now, I'm not talking about Smash Brothers. I'm talking like Mario games, which of course is his name, Mario. I think that would resonate with the hardcore fanboys, but I don't think that it would have the impact. Unfortunately, it would not have the impact of like a Master Chief dying.
Well, here's the thing, too.
Or a Solid Snake.
But Mario is also so geared towards a younger demographic where you have probably more kids crying than people shocked.
Yes.
I just, that audience is so much younger than like a or Halo, where people would be like, oh, but no, they would cry.
Oh, God, Gears of War. We lost so many brilliant soldiers.
Oh, that's just true. But yeah, I never see that happening with the Mario series. But it has happened with other series. I mean,
but what would your reaction be if they were to actually kill off a character?
You know what that made me do? It'd make me actually want to pick up and play a Nintendo game for the first time in like half a decade. It would. I'd be like, holy crap, that's interesting.
Okay, maybe it would cause like a nostalgia effect where you're like, oh man, I remember playing as Luigi in Super Mario Brothers 2.
Because my older brother was a jerk and always took Mario, and I had to play as Luigi. That's usually what happened.
What is your names? I am Charlie. He is Zealeus. Hello. Who would you not want to be permanently gone in Mario? Mario.
It'd be a pretty worthless series without
If
Mario.
you got rid of Mario, it'd be literally game over.
Actually, you know who I like better than Mario, though?
What's that?
Yoshi. Yoshi's my man.
But technically, there are multiple Yoshis.
Okay, so the original green Yoshi that you find.
Okay.
That's my dog right there. I like Yoshi. I like the weird random characters. Like, you know, he looks like a big cuddly lizard. So, / dinosaur thing.
Yep.
So, I like, personally, him. And that's the one I would take. So, I'd rather he lives over Mario. I really don't know I don't care about Mario. I like my monsters.
Right. Okay. I would say...
So I could rename the franchise Yoshi.
Yoshi. I think they did. Yoshi's Cookies? No.
Maybe not quite the success.
But yeah, I think that Mario would be the one for me that... I mean, literally, it's his name. It would be like... I
think Luigi could die, though.
Yes.
People would be
Luigi would be...
That'd be the most natural death that people would actually heard of.
Because if Toad were to die, some people would be like, who the hell is Toad?
Like, my mom's probably heard of Luigi.
Luigi, right. I mean, because it's Mario and Luigi. If they were to really kill off Mario, the game would probably be called Mario Game Over.
Spoiler alert in the title series.
How about this?
Mario Bowser's Revenge.
If you want to have, I don't know why this made me think about this, but one of the things that that would be kind of cool for like the last game in a series, and not Mario. I'm going totally off topic here, but the Final Fantasy.
Ha, that's funny.
It'll never happen, but
where would Square Enix make their money off of?
I bet you if you did that, do you know how many people would probably go back through all the other games that they've played, going, "Oh man, it's over. Man, it was a good time,"
and then to come out with another one again, anyways.
Or they'll be like, "God, this game sucked balls. Why was this even in the series?" Which a lot of people would say about Mystic Quest. That's on Super Nintendo.
I remember it.
Did you ever play it?
No. can I say? I was deprived as a youth. I didn't have a Super Nintendo.
I technically didn't have a Nintendo, Super Nintendo, or 64.
Yeah, you still got to play them.
Well, it's because my grandmother had them.
Well, there you go. I didn't have a grandmother in town. She lived up in Minnesota, which was a little far to travel to play video games.
My first game console that I was allowed to actually put in the house was a PlayStation.
And 64.
And 64?
Yeah. With Blitz.
Ah, yes.
That's
NFL
fun.
Blitz. When you're being a nerd, Mario is the most skilled game character. He could do triple flips.
Not in the first one.
Yeah.
He just...
Are we talking, like, we're talking, you know, costumes here? Because, you know, I mean, you take the raccoon tail or leaf or whatever, and you can just go, bloop, 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 and he could fly forever.
And he could magically spit fireballs.
If he had the fire flower.
Yeah, which is pretty
But
cool
you can't, like, crossbreed the raccoon with the fire.
Which would be a pretty sweet ability, though, if you could. I mean, that'd be pretty rad. Maybe that's what he's missing.
Let's triple breed this thing. Mario, the Kingdom's final attempts. It's a little wordy, not gonna lie, but good. Let's do the fire flower with the raccoon with
Yoshi.
With Yoshi.
We can ride on top of Yoshi, man.
What's the frog suit? Let's do that. You can fly, you can swim, and you can spit fireballs at whenever you want to. I'm just saying.
Sure.
It could happen.
You can spit fireballs underwater. Sweet.
One character that I think would have made an impact if he had died many, many years ago would have been Bowser. But now I feel like they've kind of gone away from Bowser and been just like adding random bad guys.
Waluigi.
Waluigi, Wario. I'm trying.
Wario's World.
There was something, and the other thing is they keep reinventing Bowser.
Yeah, it's not the same Bowser.
No,
it's like version 18.0.
He's no longer just jumping up and down on the other side of a bridge spitting fireballs. Now he's got like, have I ever made a game? Yes, I have. All right, well, you can exit when you need to.
Well, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but I have some work I have to do at home to get ready for tomorrow. So I must take my bow. Normally I do not depart so early, but I have business I have to attend to before tomorrow morning. So I will see you kids later.
Okay. Keep on gaming in the free world.
And keep on gaming in the free world or in Minecraft.
Yes, amen to that, brother.
Yes.